December 2023 marked the beginning of a harrowing ordeal for Dr. Ganiyat Popoola, who was kidnapped and has remained in captivity for 7 long months. The Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors at National Hospital Abuja, we saw earlier this week, take to the streets in a protest march demanding her immediate release. As the days turn into weeks, Dr. Popoola's continued abduction sends a chilling message to healthcare workers nationwide who fear for their own safety while selflessly dedicating their lives to saving others. I'm joined now by a doctor from Irua Specialist Hospital in Edo State. For more on this development is the chairman, Association of Resident Doctors, Dr. Bobo Marije. Dr. Marije, thank you so much for joining us on the program. Help us understand what really happened with Dr. Popoola. What more do you know about her experience?
Okay. Good evening, sir and viewers. Dr. Ganiyat Popoola's story is a very sad one. A story that, like you rightly said, sends chills down the spines of doctors who are still living in this country, who have decided to stay back and dedicate their own service to their motherland. Imagine a doctor has been kidnapped since on the 27th of December 2023 and nothing has been done about it. This doctor was kidnapped from inside a federal government institution. That was where she was abducted from, the eye care center, Kaduna, alongside her husband and her husband's nephew on that day. Since being kidnapped till now, no national security agency has been able to do anything about it. And initially, the kidnappers demanded for a ransom of 60 million naira, which was raised by friends and family of these people. And when this money was raised, at the point the money was about to be delivered to the abductors requested for motorcycles, foodstuffs, bags of rice, beans, and some other stuffs. And then these foodstuffs were sourced for alongside the motorcycles, and this cost about an additional 10 million naira, making it about 70 million naira that was paid. Upon payment of this money in cash and delivery of the items that the abductors requested for, the woman's husband was released, but the woman and the man's nephew were still kept behind. Now, it was said that the woman was supposed to be released instead of her husband. However, her husband was very sick and nearing the point of death. So the woman decided that it would be best to release her husband rather than allowing him die there, thinking that something would be done to release her immediately. The husband was released. And the husband was released in March last year. After the husband was released, the abductors requested for a further 40 million naira to enable them release the woman. This 40 million naira was sourced for amongst the husband's friends and well-wishers and raised. At the point where this 40 million naira was to be paid, these men, the abductors again requested for those same items that they requested for, which cost about 10 million naira. And then it was handed over to them. But this time, they were defiant. They refused to release the woman, neither did they release the man's nephew. So that's about 120 million naira in cash and cost of bikes and foodstuff has been handed over to these people. Now, the problem is that the last time that we spoke to this woman, they have been speaking to her because they've been making video calls to prove that the woman is alive and then to force their way to get extra monies from this family. The last time that this woman was called, that she was allowed to reach her family members, it was discovered that the nephew of this woman was blind, of the man was blind, he could no longer see, and he was tied, he was chained. It was not a rope, he was chained to a tree, and then his muscles have been wasted there and his tendons are showing. And then he was very sick. The woman is very slim. She has lost a lot of weight. She feeds only once in 3 days. All these are punishments meted out to her to ensure that the family members keep releasing money. And apart from that, she has not had a bath since on the 27th of December when she was kidnapped. She is menstruating on herself, wearing the same clothes, no change of clothing. That is the state of this woman right now.
Dr.
Now, the
Majire,
worst part, sir.
what has happened all through this period that ransom was being paid? What kind of engagement was happening with, security agencies? What role has the resident association, played, the NMA? Because it seems we're just about hearing it on a national scale 8 months after.
Okay. What happened was that initially when this woman was kidnapped, the Association of Resident Doctors tried to do something about it. However, they were advised by the National Security Agency at Kaduna that they should not make too much noise about it so that the people do not kill the woman or know that she's a doctor. Meanwhile, we were wondering if they didn't know she was a doctor already because she was kidnapped, abducted from a federal government teaching hospital in this country. The association kept quiet and tried to raise the money, thinking that raising that if the money was raised, that the woman would be released. Subsequently, those monies were paid and then the man was released. But the man begged the association not to do anything because he didn't want them to kill his wife. It was after he had paid the other 40 million in cash and the 10 million naira worth of bike and other stuff that he realized that they were not going to release his wife. And the man is now becoming a mental case. He's becoming mentally derailed. That was when he now gave permission for the Association of Resident Doctors to wade into the matter, because we simply followed what he was saying and the advice of the National Security Agency and other security outlets prior to this time.
Dr. Majire, we have completely run out of time, and we probably will have to continue this conversation subsequently. But what is the current position of your association? Are you going on the march as well, or you're planning a strike? In 1 minute, if you can.
We've been going on march protests around the nation. In my center here, we've done about 5 days of continuous marching around the station to press home our demands. However, if on the 26th of this month, which is Friday, she has not been released, we don't think we can guarantee industrial harmony and go on until she's released. Thank you.
Good place to live it. Chairman, Association of Resident Doctors, Area Specialist Hospital, Dr. Bobo Majire, thank you so much for talking to us on the program this evening. What a sad tale. We're hoping that an intervention will come very shortly. But that's our show today, everyone. You can watch it again at midnight and at 6 a.m. tomorrow. I am Nifemi